Hi, everyone. So, continuing our flight training leadership interview series, which I will be doing through LinkedIn. So, all of the past videos and future videos will be posted on our LinkedIn. It is brought to you by aviationfly.com. And today I have the pleasure to introduce and speak with Alex Alvarez, owner and CEO of FlyBy School, which is a leading flight school in Spain, training both European and international students. They currently have a fleet of 19 training aircraft. But one of the most exciting things that I find is that even now, during this time of challenges, FlyBy School and Alex have announced a number of growth initiatives, including increasing their fleet size, hiring flight instructors, and so I'm really excited to hear more from Alex about these initiatives and to find out more about FlyBy School. And so, yeah, welcome, Alex. We would love to hear more about your school.
Yeah, sorry, it broke up a little bit. Good morning, Max. Yes, we're super excited to share the news that we are expanding in these challenging times. We believe that it's time for bold and wise strategies, and we need to be here for our students when this pandemic is over. So and that's why we decided to increase our fleet and to keep hiring instructors, because even though it's not our fault, we want to provide for a recovery plan for the students for this lost time.
Okay. And can you tell us a bit more background of when has FlyBy School started, kind of where you are currently located, who you're training, and a bit more about your organization?
Yeah, sure. We were established in 2007 in Bilbao, which is north of the northern coast of Spain, and I took over the school in 2015. I lead a group of investors that we believed in the positive trends of the aviation industry, and we took over the school. Then, so I moved the school from Bilbao to León and Burgos, where we currently operate. León and Burgos are both cities 2 hours north of Madrid in central Spain. And we operate from the University of León in León, where we have our group of simulators. We have 5 simulators there. And we also conduct the training from Burgos International Airport. We have approximately 200 students from 40 different nationalities. We have students from as far as South Korea, New Zealand, and most of Asia, Africa, Europe, all the way to Mexico, Panama, Colombia, Uruguay, Argentina. So basically, we are a truly international company. The only common language spoken in the school is obviously English, but many different nationalities. Similarly, our instructors come from many different places. So it is one of the things that brings diversity to a company, and we are blessed to have many different ways of cultures and ways of doing. But the thing that I'm most proud of is the ambience, where I'm going to say that we always get it right, but the ambience in the school, it is super friendly, and the both the students and the staff work very very well together.
Okay, fantastic.
You were
So,
saying that we currently have a fleet of 19 airplanes. With the last news that I posted yesterday, where I signed the order for 2 new airplanes. When we started in 2015, we basically had 3 airplanes, and so we have multiplied revenues by 20 since then, and growth in the number of flight hours. I know what the multiplier is, but it's huge. So We must have done something correctly to support this growth, and we continue to plan to do it. The short term, there's going to be obviously an impact on the coronavirus pandemic, but we believe that we will all come back out of it stronger and with more potential for the company and the students as well.
So talking about the current challenges specifically, how has your organization been affected, and kind of what policies have you taken to to ensure that you continue operations? I know previously you told me that you're actually all the staff is still working, and everything is still happening except for the training component.
Well, let me start by saying two things. First is that on the staff side, obviously this pandemic is nobody's fault. Okay, it's we cannot blame, and in particular the company, we cannot blame the staff or the students. So we are working in two different ways to assist both the staff and students. Staff must be there, fully motivated, from where we will be able to resume operations. So one thing that I decided was that nobody's going to take a pay cut or pay leave or anything like that. There's nobody being laid off or anything like that. We continue working as normal. It is we take it as an opportunity to do all those little things that you never had time to do when you're on a day-by-day operation. So we have done a number of improvements in our IT systems, for instance, to provide a better quality training when we're back. From the student side, obviously we had to stop flight operations and lessons in the classroom. We do continue with online distance learning, but we are this is going to be an impact for the students for sure. But one thing that I have decided is that we are going to provide for students that get the services with us up to 2 months of free accommodation, meals, and shuttle to help them in this difficult situation.
That's fantastic to hear.
Yeah, we look after our people, and I consider our students not only our students but also our friends. So we're here to help them when needed. We do plan to resume operations. The situation in Spain is improving quite significantly. So now it's envisioned that approximately the 27th of April, we will be able to start resume operations and fully functional on the 1st of May. But obviously, we will implement a number of safety initiatives to mitigate the risks of getting sick. So we're going to, measure temperatures. Everything's going to be using shield mask. Airplanes are going to be clean before every flight and at the end of the day. So and obviously in the classroom there will be social distance implemented. So all those little things to make sure that that we conduct our operations as safe as possible.
Are you worried at all? I think it's really, on one hand, fantastic to hear that you have students from over 40 nations and from places as far as New Zealand and South Korea and Mexico. But are you worried at all about there being international travel restrictions which might be in place for a bit of a longer duration than Spain opening up internally again and you being able to start operations?
Obviously, this is new for everybody. So what we're going to do is, like we said on day one, we're going to monitor the situation on a daily basis and make provisions on a case-by-case scenario. Okay, so you can also see that some countries enter into the disease earlier than others, so it will take a little bit longer to get out of it. So I'm sure that there will be some students affected that they won't be able to come to resume operations on the 1st of May. But again, that's why we are doing it. We're already planning, and we are contacting every single student this week to prepare for the 1st of May. All you have to do is plan ahead, and then reality will strike, and you will
Yeah.
have to work around it. Obviously, if there are travel restrictions and somebody cannot leave their country, there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it. But we're going to be providing for everybody. We're going to have a plan in place, and trying to make the best for everybody.
Yeah. And I think that's also your advantage then of having students from so many different countries, that you've got the ability to also train more students from those countries rather than maybe just one or two countries which might have travel restrictions in place longer than other countries. So I really like the optimism, the positivity, that you're spreading through LinkedIn as well. So what is kind of your outlook, or what you want to do with your organization, coming out of COVID, so post COVID, and what you also see happening in the industry as a result of the challenging times that we've gone through now?
Okay, well, first of all, it's like looking in the crystal ball, and the perfect answer of what the situation will be is I don't know. But we need to manage uncertainty, and we need to be prepared for what is coming ahead of us. And our plan is to not follow the herd, having our own views, and making our own strategic decisions. And as I was explaining the other day, I truly believe in the underlying strength of the aviation market. So I take this time of COVID and a number of impacts that will have on airlines and other flight schools as an opportunity. So we are going to be monitoring very closely the market and see if there are interesting opportunities for us to grow through acquisitions or through expanding our presence in other countries and other segments and other regions. For instance,
Yeah.
we're going to be launching an aircraft maintenance engineering training in next fall. So we are doing the investing of all the things required for that right now. We're looking at expanding regionally with opening different branches in several parts of the world. So we are very optimistic. And the one of the points that you mentioned is that obviously we're the world is big, but the impact on different parts of the world is going to be timed differently. So it is not the same in Korea that it is in Mexico right now. So we know that countries will get out of this at a different pace and at different times. But our global reach is what gives us, I believe, an advantage to always be focusing on the interesting parts in the world. Not, the big players in the industry are also global, but the biggest difference between them and us is that we will always be at a fraction of their cost, so that we can always offer our training significantly cheaper than our competitors.
Well, while we're on that point, I think it's really important to mention is that, so what I find really fascinating about FlyBy School is your product is high quality EASA pilot training at which is packaged in such a way that there's just one price, which includes everything from the tuition fee to accommodation to transportation to all the expenses that a student could have as one package price, so that the student, once they start with you, do not have to worry at all about, additional expenses that might pop up. And that's certainly something that I find quite fascinating and great about FlyBy School, because this is something which is, I wouldn't say it is not too common. So there's a few other schools also doing it, but it is certainly not the industry norm to have a complete package like the one that you're offering.
And this was shocking to me when I first entered the industry, which was, all the hidden costs. You have to, they were trying to explain to me what the course of ATPL cost that somebody had to budget for. It was very complicated. So for me, it was I designed the program that I would have wanted to join when I was younger. It's like, why, if you have to pay for the class 1 medical, why don't you include it? It's like, if you need some headsets, why don't you include them? If you need to stay somewhere, if I want somebody from South Korea to come to Spain, where am I going to stay? It's I put myself in the student's shoes. I said, well, just put me everything, and I'll see if I want to join you or not. So it is true that only very, very few schools offer this same approach, but I'm proud when I see a new school trying to offer a similar thing, because it says, well, we're at least making an impact on the industry. There are a number of benefits also from operating from Spain. As you mentioned, one and foremost is that we offer the EASA license, which is, I'm going to say, to be politically correct, one of the best positioned licenses in the market. But we have to do it at a reasonable price. And the cost of living in Spain, it's obviously nothing compared to the cost of living in countries like the UK, Germany, Norway, or Sweden. The weather-wise, Southern Europe has a strong benefit versus Northern Europe. Countries like Italy, they have a number of difficulties with the orography, the mountains and the sea. It provides a challenge. In Spain, I'm going to say that we're not the best at anything, but the average, the entire package is quite good. And one thing that is very important is that since we are always focusing on the international market, it is how difficult it is in some countries to obtain student visas. For Spain, it's quite a straightforward process. So we don't have any problem, and in fact, the only problem that I have is in the student visa in some parts, in some countries, is obtained so quickly that our students wait until the very last minute to start the process because they expected to have it in 1 week.
Okay.
And that's obviously not always. So we, as I said, we may not have the best at one single item, but the package that we offer is extremely competitive. And the brand new air fleet with international ambience, it is something that not many schools can offer.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. And just to finish off, I know you're also a big user of LinkedIn and super connected and super active on it. Are there any kind of stakeholders in the industry that you would like to connect with to, form partnerships with, or to supply you with certain things, or who are you kind of looking to partner as you enter the next phase of growth?
Well, first and foremost is that I know how difficult it is selling. I've been doing business development my entire life. So I always answer to people trying to connect with me with different offerings. I'm always, my initial career was working in procurement. So I'm always willing to hear from other service providers in many different parts to see what they can offer to improve our operations.
Yeah.
But the area where we're mostly interested in right now, it is in growth opportunities in areas where we could go into and see new developments. We're talking with countries like Turkey, Middle East, the US, India. So we're interested to hear and see if we can get to win-win relationships with other enterprises. So all ears.
Okay, fantastic. That was really, really insightful, and I really recommend everyone to connect with Alex on LinkedIn, to follow the content that he posts, to also follow FlyBy School's LinkedIn page, because it is very active. And it's really great to keep up to date with them and see what's happening by a European school which is targeting students from all over the world. So thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you very much, Max.